We were mocking my husband at a party. He didn't say a word, just got up, looked me dead. I'm sitting here in an empty house, and I can't stop shaking. 2 nights ago, I destroyed my marriage with one conversation. One effing conversation that I thought was just harmless fun. My name's Madison 29F, and I've been married to Simon 31M for 4 years, together for 7. He's a high school history teacher and varsity basketball coach. I'm in pharmaceutical sales. Yeah, I make bank. And that's relevant to how much of a piece of SHT I am. Friday night, I was hosting our monthly wine night. Simon usually heads to his brother's place or grades papers in the basement when the coven, his joking name for my friend group, comes over. This time, he was downstairs working on final exam prep. We were deep into our second bottle of wine when my best friend Sienna started her usual relationship complaints. Her boyfriend hadn't gotten her off in months. Brooke's new man was all talk, no action, the usual complaints. Then Natasha turned to me with this sly smile. Come on, ads you never share anymore. How's Simon in bed? Still rocking your world after all these years? Here's where I became the worst human being alive. Instead of shutting it down or saying something nice about my husband, I saw an opportunity to be the center of attention and get the biggest laugh. Oh, honey, I said, taking a long sip of wine for dramatic effect. Let's just say there's a reason I call him my fun-sized husband. The room erupted. Karma nearly choked on her wine. Stop! Sienna gasped between laughs. Are you serious? Dead serious. I've seen cocktail shrimp with more substance. Remember that guy I dated before Simon, the personal trainer? Now that was a man who could fill out swim trunks. Simon. I literally have to ask, is it in? Just to be sure we've started. The laughter got louder. I got cruer. No wonder he coaches high school. He's built like one of his students down there. Probably showers with his eyes closed so he doesn't get depressed. Madison! Brooke shrieked, but she was laughing too hard to sound scandalized. What? I'm just being honest. The man drives a Prius. You know what they say about guys with eco-friendly cars. They're compensating for other shortcomings. In his case, severe shortcomings. Does he know you're unsatisfied? Carmen asked. Oh, he thinks he's a SX god. I should win an effing Emmy for my performances. Oh, Simon. Yes, right there. Meanwhile, I'm mentally planning my grocery list and wondering if we need more paper towels. That's when I heard footsteps on the basement stairs. Simon stood in the doorway, not angry, not hurt, just empty, like someone had turned off a light inside him. The room went dead silent. Even drunk, we all knew this was bad. He walked to the kitchen, slow and deliberate, poured himself a glass of water. The ice cubes clinking against the glass sounded like thunder in the silence. Then, he turned to face us, more specifically, to face me. Thanks for the reminder, he said, his voice steady and calm. I deserve better. He set the glass down gently on the counter and walked upstairs. No door slamming, no yelling, just quiet footsteps, and then the sound of drawers opening and closing. The girls started nervous giggling, making comments about awkward and oops. I tried to laugh along, but my chest felt like someone was squeezing it. 20 minutes later, I heard the garage door open. In his Prius, the one I just mocked pulling out. That was Friday night. Today is Sunday. He hasn't answered a single call or text. I went to his brother's apartment yesterday. Simon's car was there, but his brother wouldn't let me in. Just said, he's done, Madison. And honestly, good for him. I went to the school yesterday morning, thinking I could catch him before his Saturday basketball practice. The assistant coach met me in the parking lot. He called in. First time in 3 years. Asked me to tell you not to come to the school again. His last text to me, sent at 2 a.m. Saturday. I heard everything, every word. For the first time in 7 years, I finally understand what you really think of me. Thank you for the clarity. Here's the effed up part. Simon isn't small. He's completely average, maybe even slightly above. But average doesn't get laughs. Average doesn't make me the star of the show, so I lied. I tore down the man who's never said a cruel word about me to anyone, just so my friends would think I was funny. You want to know the truth? Simon is amazing in bed. Attentive, passionate, always making sure I'm satisfied. Before he even thinks about himself, he does this thing where I can't even write about it without crying. My friends keep texting, saying he'll get over it, and that all wives complain. Sienna actually said, men are so sensitive. It's not like he heard you, but he did hear me. He heard me take our intimate moments and turn them into a comedy routine. He heard me compare him to other men. He heard me call him inadequate, embarrassing, less than. The house is so quiet. His coffee mug isn't on the counter. His lesson plans aren't scattered on the dining room table. His basketball shoes aren't by the door. I make $150,000 a year. I drive a BMW. I have a massive house. And I just lost the only thing that actually mattered because I wanted to make my friends laugh. Simon grew up poor, worked his sauce off to become a teacher because he wanted to make a difference. I've made little digs about his salary before, jokes about being the breadwinner, about him being just the teacher. He just smiles sadly and changed the subject. How many times did I humiliate him? How many times did he swallow his pride and stay it anyway? Not this time. This time, I went too far. And the worst part, I can't even blame the wine. This is who I am. Someone who would destroy the person who loves me most just to feel superior for 5 effing minutes. Update 1 5 days after Jesus. This blew up. Yes, I'm the villain. Yes, I deserve this. Yes, I'm in therapy. Emergency session. Yesterday, SHT got real. Today, Simon came by the house while I was at work, left his wedding ring on the kitchen counter with a note. Please communicate through my lawyer going forward. His lawyer. We're really doing this. But that's not even the worst part. Natasha's boyfriend works at Simon's school. He's the AP English teacher. Apparently we're got around not the details, but that Simon's wife said something unforgivable about him at a party. The other teachers are rallying around him. One of them changed her Facebook profile picture to a photo of Simon with his basketball team, with the caption supporting our coach through difficult times. His team F. Those kids worship him. He's the coach who shows up to their games, even in off-season, who tutors them for free, who convinced half of them they were college material when everyone else had written them off. What if they find out what I said? I tried to do damage control. Showed up at his brother's apartment with his favorite takeout from that Thai place he loves. His brother, who's built like an effing linebacker, blocked the doorway. Madison, I'm going to say this once. My brother is the best man I know. He's everything, everyone. Our mom, our sister, me. Every time we pointed out how you treated him like SHT, he'd make excuses. She's stressed from work. She doesn't mean it. She had a tough childhood. Well, guess what he's done? Making excuses. Then his brother's wife came to the door. This woman has always been polite, but distant with me. Not anymore. You know what he told us? He said he's been feeling like a ghost in his own marriage for 2 years. Said you made him feel like he was lucky. You settled for him. Settled like a man who spends 7 years worshiping you with something to settle for. I broke down crying right there in their hallway. His brother's wife just looked at me with disgust. Save the tears for someone who gives a shit, Madison. You had 7 years to cry for him. Instead of making him cry, Simon cried. My 6'2" basketball coach husband, who I've never seen shed a tear even when his dad died, cry because of me. My friends are starting to distance themselves. Carmen texted, saying her husband was uncomfortable with her hanging out with someone who would publicly humiliate their spouse. Brooke is still on my side, but even she said, maybe you went a little too far this time. A little too far. I've been going through our photos, looking for signs. Found a video from last year's school awards banquet. Simon won Teacher of the Year. In his speech, he thanked me for supporting his dreams, even though they don't come with a big paycheck. The camera panned to me, and I was on my phone. Didn't even hear what he said, but I heard every word. Friday night, when I destroyed him for a laugh, my therapist asked me to write down every time I can remember belittling Simon. I filled 3 pages, 3 effing pages of jokes about his salary, his car, his clothes. He shops at Target. I shop at Nordstrom. His hobbies? He paints miniatures for some board game. His friends, other teachers, townies, I called them. His family, working class, simple, I once said. His dreams. He wants to open a youth center someday. And yes, our SX life, which was beautiful and intimate and real until I turned it into a punchline. Found out through social media that Simon took a sick day today, first time in 3 years. The basketball team's group page posted praying for coach. See, these kids know something's wrong. He's the man who brings me flowers every Friday, who leaves notes in my lunch bag, who still opens car doors and tells me I'm beautiful, even when I'm in sweats, who was planning to surprise me with a trip to Paris for our anniversary. Because I mentioned once 3 years ago that I wanted to go. How do I know about Paris? Found the booking confirmation in his email. Yes, I still have his passwords. No, I won't use them again. Non-refundable. He'd been saving for a year on a teacher's salary. Sienna came over last night, still defending me. Look, all women talk shit about their men. It's normal. He's being dramatic. Sienna, I said, when was the last time Simon said anything negative about me? She thought about it. Really thought about it. I don't think he ever has. Exactly. And when was the last time I said something positive about him? Silence. Madison, she started. Get out, I said. Just get out. She left. We've been best friends for 8 years. And I kicked her out because I finally realized she's been enabling this shit. We all have this toxic effing circle where we compete to see who can cheat on their partner the most. Tomorrow I'm going to beg. I don't care how pathetic it looks. I'm going to a school after practice, and I'm going to grovel because I just realized something. I wasn't the prize in this relationship. He was, and I just gave him away. Update 2. 2 weeks later, I'm writing this from my sister's couch. Had to move out of the house. Couldn't stand being there alone. Simon agreed to meet me once in public, at a Starbucks near his school, with his brother present. He looked different, tired, but somehow lighter, like a weight had been lifted. He was wearing a new shirt, fitted, stylish, the kind I always said made him look like he was trying too hard. It looked good on him, really really good. I had prepared this whole speech about my childhood, my insecurities, how sorry I was. He let me get through about half before he held up his hand. Madison, stop. Just stop. His voice was so calm. This isn't about Friday night. Friday night was just when I finally heard out loud what I've been feeling for years. That you're ashamed of me. I'm not. You are. You're ashamed that I'm a teacher, that I drive a Prius, that I shop at Target, that I choose to work with kids instead of chasing money. You're ashamed that I'm not the guy you pictured yourself with. I tried to deny it, but the words wouldn't come. He pulled out his phone and showed me screenshots. My text to friends over the years. At another boring teacher party. Me now Simon's wearing his Target special to dinner. Watching him play his nerd games. This is my life now. Sometimes I wonder what life would be like if I'd married someone ambitious. I've been reading these for years, Madison. Years. Each one chipped away a piece of me, but I loved you, so I kept trying, kept hoping that one day I'd be enough. His brother interrupted. Show her the other folder. Simon hesitated, then opened another album. Screenshots from a group chat, but not mine. His messages from him to his friends. Madison made partner at her firm. So proud of her. My wife just closed the biggest deal of her career, taking her to celebrate Madison's presentation. KLD today. She's incredible. Lucky doesn't even begin to cover how I feel. Every single message was him building me up, praising me, defending me, when his friends suggested I didn't appreciate him. That's the difference between us, he said. I lifted you up. You tore me down. I started ugly crying right there in Starbucks. Simon just watched. Not cold, just done. You want to know the ironic part? He continued. My students found out, not the details, but that my wife said something cruel about me. You know what they did? These 16-year-old kids started a petition to nominate me for State Teacher of the Year, said I deserve to be with someone who sees me as a hero, not a punchline. 16-year-olds, children, they could see his worth better than I could. I've already filed for divorce, he said, uncontested. I don't want anything except my personal belongings and joint custody of the dog. Simon, please. Madison, you told a room full of people that I have a small DK, that you fake orgasms, that you settled for me, that I'm inadequate, that I'm embarrassing. There's no coming back from that. It was a lie. All of it was lies. I know, he said quietly. That almost makes it worse. You humiliated me, destroyed my reputation, made me question my worth as a man. For what? To make your friends laugh? What kind of person does that?